In today's video, we're talking about the Scottsdale City Court. The Scottsdale City Court is one of the busiest courts in Arizona. We see a lot of people charged with crimes here, so today we're going to talk a little bit more about it, hopefully answer some questions that you may have if you or someone you know or love is facing criminal charges out of Scottsdale. So first and foremost, it's important to note that Scottsdale City Court will only handle what are called misdemeanor cases. So sometimes people will call into our office and they'll say, hey, I've been charged with a crime. I think it's a felony, but I have to appear in Scottsdale City Court. Well, felonies cannot take place in Scottsdale City Court. Scottsdale only has the jurisdiction to handle misdemeanor cases. So it doesn't matter if you have a super extreme DUI, if it's a first offense or a second offense. It doesn't matter what your charge is. If you're in Scottsdale, it's going to be a misdemeanor. Felonies will go down to a different court downtown out of a superior court because they have the jurisdiction over the felonies. So I want to clear that up. If you're in Scottsdale, you're going to be dealing with a misdemeanor. Now, most of the crimes that we see charged out of Scottsdale are Scottsdale types of crimes, things like DUIs, disorderly conduct, urinating in public, any domestic violence offenses, things that are happening in and around Scottsdale. So Scottsdale has Old Town, Scottsdale has the Waste Management Open, we have Westworld. There are a lot of different places where certain crimes will happen, things like having an open container or consuming alcohol in public, or criminal trespass. If somebody goes into a bar, they're asked to leave, they don't leave, that's a trespass charge. Any types of bumps, bruises, things like that are going to be assaults. And of course, we see a lot of DUIs. DUIs are very, very common to see out of Scottsdale. The police really enforce against those very hard, so we see a lot of those take place. Now, if you're charged with a crime out of Scottsdale, you're going to go to the Scottsdale City Court. If you have an attorney, we can appear at almost everything for you. Things that we need you to be present for are going to be things like a trial readiness conference or a substantive evidentiary hearing, or of course a trial. But the pretrial process, things like an arraignment, a pretrial conference, case management conference, all of those different settings, by and large, a lawyer can waive your presence so that you do not need to be there for those things. It's one of the main benefits of hiring an attorney, is that you don't have to worry about that stuff. We take care of it for you. Now, if you do not have an attorney, you are, of course, going to need to appear at every one of your court dates, even if you have a public defender. I've never been a public defender out of Scottsdale, but my understanding is that they want you there most of the time because that's where they're communicating with you. If you do need to go to Scottsdale City Court on your own because you don't have an attorney, you're going to find it at 3700 North 75th Street. That's at 85251. It's right next to the Scottsdale Stadium. Parking is free. It's very easy to get in, get out of that court. It's not going to be like a court downtown where you have to pay for parking and then walk a bunch to get there. It's pretty simple. You can park right across the street, walk right across the street, get into the court. Security is pretty strict. They don't allow any liquids to come in at all. No water bottles. You have to leave all of that stuff in your car. Of course, the standard rules of courtroom decorum apply. You're going to want to make sure you dress appropriately. Don't wear any shirts with swear words or anything like that on there. Just come dressed appropriately. Whether you intend on speaking to the judge or not, you want to show up well. In my opinion, Scottsdale is actually one of the better courts in terms of logistics. They're pretty quick. You can get in and out pretty quick. They have a good system for pulling a number. They'll see you relatively quickly. I don't think, by and large, they're understaffed. They've got a lot of resources. Judges are pretty quick, versus some other courts around the valley that it can be really difficult. You can be waiting there for hours and hours to actually be seen and to get your paperwork back. Scottsdale's not like that. They're run pretty well. You can also find a ton of information on the Scottsdale City Court website. They've got a great system, so you can just plug your name in, pull up your case information, see when your next scheduled court date is, see when your next payments are due, see how much is owed on the case. You can see who the attorney who is assigned to your case is. There's a lot of very good information on their website. There are 4 actual judges who are there in the Scottsdale City Court. We have Judge Olkovaj, who's the presiding judge. We have Judge Hendricks, who's in courtroom 1. Olkovaj is in courtroom 2. Courtroom 3 is Judge Yena, and then courtroom 4 is Judge Blake. I'm going to make separate videos on each one of those judges, so if you're in one of those particular courtrooms, you can take a look at that video to find out more information about it. There's also a number of pro tem judges. These are temporary judges, so If you're seeing other judges around and not one of those judges ring a bell, that's because they're temporary judges. They're pro tem judges. And so, of course, the judges may change by the time you watch this video, but those 4 are the ones who've been there for a very long time. They are official judges, the presiding judge and the associate judges out of the Scottsdale City Court, and I don't expect them to change anytime soon, but the pro tem judges very well may. Also have different videos on the Scottsdale Prosecutor's Office, the Scottsdale Crime Lab, and the different specific court proceedings that happened out of the Scottsdale City Court. So a ton of information on this court. We are literally 5 minutes up the road from them. We only do criminal law, so we're out of Scottsdale a lot. We spend a lot of time there. We know exactly how it works, how the different prosecutors work, how the different courtrooms work. And so if you or somebody you know or love has any questions about the Scottsdale City Court as it relates to any criminal charges, give our office a call. We'll be happy to speak with you, sit down with you, make sure you understand how it works, and make sure you can get through this whole process with as minimal pain as possible. So give us a call. We offer free case evaluations. We look forward to speaking with you soon, and thanks for watching.